Alrighty then, how are things going with everybody? Let's switch over here for a second. See, how are y'all doing this fine evening out in the United States, morning out here in Japan as usual. That's when I usually do my stream. Hope you're all having a fine day. Got a little bit of rainy weather out here, but it's not too bad. But that hay fever though, woo, that's some bad stuff there, you know. Okay. Trying to. I might sound a little nasally today, but I'll do my best to speak clearly. Get a little closer to the mic. Maybe that'll help. How y'all doing? Hope things are fantastic for all y'all. And just chat a little bit as I wait for everybody to come on in to the stream. Yeah. Hey yo, welcome back, Flake Lols. Hope you're doing good. Waiting for my medicine to kick in so I maybe can actually breathe through my nose. Alright, yeah. We have these pine trees out in Japan and they are brutal. They're everywhere. I mean, I'm very allergic to them. Oof. So if my face looks swollen, my eyes look swollen and everything, it's because of pollen allergies. Yeah, so might be speaking a little bit more soft today so I can actually breathe. Alrighty. Well, as more people coming in, I think I will just kind of walk through a few things that I've done in the last few days since the last stream, just as a quick little review. Last time, as you recall, if you were here, we supported serializing out data um, to JSON files, and we confirmed that everything works. That's just a change there. But since then, I went ahead and added support. Uh, I think there's some issue in here. What was fix the characters file path use? Okay, yeah, I just named the right path. That's fine. That's nothing to do with that. But then since then, last few days, now we're using like the actual data outputted from the editor there, and which means that the file we actually save is used in the game. So that when we reload the game the next time, that same asset is the one we made changes to. It's reflected in the game. Have a little bit of Bob Ross thing going on today. Sounds like okay. Now added a so I actually implemented this like asset manager thing. It involved adding a new source file. I didn't really want to spend too much time doing this kind of thing on stream. It's interesting, but it's not directly related to fighting game implementing. So I just kind of left it out. Basically, it means going forward we'll have some way to like arbitrarily load up assets as opposed to like manually doing everything. Anyway, skip over that a little bit. It required a few different changes around, but one thing that's kind of cool with that though is now you can like view all the assets that are loaded. To be fair, actually, it's not all the assets. It's the only one we support from the asset manager right now. And the asset manager only supports the character assets, our asset storage. And you can see this just shows you all the loaded assets. So we have the existing character, but also added a new character asset. So we should be able to edit that. Right now, we only edit only have like the default character editable. Default being the first player. Yeah, I don't know why this is showing the topic. Okay. Anyway, yeah. So we also have images loaded, as you can see, right? We have the images, from all the attacks and stuff, right? That will also be here once I support the texture assets in the asset manager. Okay, that's where that is. I also had, I believe, um, sorry, that's not what I want to look at. I want to look at our changes. Yeah, our changes here. Let's go close that. And our changes, other than that, I had a few other things. Yeah, I had the asset list minute. Yeah. So what was one other thing? I created the other character asset, and then also I changed it so that previously we were kind of like manually loading these assets, and setting everything. But now I have a generic function for loading a character asset. Load one character, it takes the path and this, and then instead of having all this, we just have this kind of check. So we basically load the asset, get the asset, and this switch here just checks to see that it's the type we expect. There's probably a better way to do this that actually asserts for something if some reason it didn't load. Right now I'm just checking the type of the asset that was loaded to make sure it was a character. Maybe in the future I'll change this to make this to be different. But yeah, then that load one character comes down here and we just load it like this. So we just call that function twice using the two different character assets we have created. Alrighty, so it looks like a few people are in here. Not too many today, but I guess I can get started chatting about throws. So yeah, what is a throw? Okay, and what is a throw? How does a throw differentiates itself from an existing attack? Well, first of all, what are attacks? So attacks are just an action that has an offensive collision box, or we usually call it like an attack box. And when it overlaps with an enemy, it causes a fixed hit reaction, such as this one, right? That knocks the character back. We have this launch one, for example. So you have like kind of fixed hit properties that cause a fixed reaction, right? And typically fighting games will have a set of reactions that can be played, right? In this case, in our game, we have a knockback and we have a launch. We don't have any special animations, as you can see, but there are different physics properties. And these properties generally are adjustable on a per attack basis. And obviously, I can show you that on our attack if I just pause the game. And we can see, scrolling down here, we have the attack in our timeline, the sequence, index, da. So that's actually our animation, sorry. Our hit properties are here, right? We have hit stun, guard stun, hit stop, knockback. These things are adjustable in real time here, right? I can make it much smaller if I want to. They shouldn't be, well, we can make it negative actually, it's fine. But, and then, yeah, less knockback, right? So these are things that can be adjustable. So what makes throws differently? Well, I'm sure you all know what throws are in fighting games in general. These are like grappling attacks, and sometimes they are just referred to as grabs. Where basically you perform an action that looks like a real life throw, where you grab somebody and you chunk them somewhere. But they trigger differently than attacks. Attacks trigger a hit reaction when the character isn't blocking. I think that's kind of intuitive in what people expect. But grabs or throws, they hit when a character is either blocking or not blocking. And typically, right, there might be differences in other games. I think Pokken has like a set of, it has like kind of like an RPS rule. There's situations where you won't get grabbed. But in general, grabs will always hit, whereas attacks will not cause a hit reaction. Will not cause a hit reaction when the character is blocking. You actually get a block reaction instead. So that's one big difference, right? So just thinking about this, like, so to say, how are throws different than attacks? Attacks cause a hit reaction when an opponent isn't blocking, causes a block reaction when they are blocking. Okay. And then throws cause a throw reaction, or cause a single reaction on hit or block. I know that's intuitive and obvious to everybody who plays fighting games, but we have to start from somewhere, right? Well, causes the same reaction on hit or block. And also in general, we can say in general, because this is the case for most fighting games, throws cause a fixed reaction. There isn't generally a different reaction depending on the scenario, whereas like hits do cause different reactions. So usually, hit reactions can be context dependent, but throw reactions are always the same. This is kind of a general thing that we can say is true. Okay. Now, going even further, we can say in general that throw reactions are generally not configurable. They are kind of fixed. They play a particular set of frames for a 2D game or a particular animation for a 3D game. And generally, those properties are not adjustable. Now, that's not entirely true. Depending on the game, in this scenario, you might have things that are tweakable from the design side, but they're generally more fixed than a hit and a hit reaction, or an attack and a hit reaction that's caused by that attack. So that's an important place to start. The other thing that's really different than hit reactions is once an attack hits an opponent, generally they will go into the hit reaction from that point and play out whatever scenario is the result of those hit properties, right? It will be, and from that point on, the attacker doesn't cause any other differences in that blocking or hit reacting opponent. Whereas throws, well, depending on, again, the game and the scenario, but often it's the case that the thrower will update the state of the opponent every frame until they are thrown, or sorry, they're released from that throw. And often in games that do have throws, and the reason they are called throws is you'll grab the opponent, right? And that's why they're called grabs. And they'll chunk the opponent into the air often, or throw them to the ground or whatever, right? So that's why you get that overlapping terminology of throws and grabs. So let's say in general, right, throws lock the opponent into a state in which the thrower controls them. It's kind of in the kind of situation. So we can imagine a scenario where the designer assigns an offset every frame of the throw to be in alignment, right, with the thrower's animation. Now, there's an alternative thing. It may not be designer assigned. It may be animator assigned, where they've created some like unique animation for that throw. That's on. So you have the thrower side and the reactor side, and basically they're in synchronization, and you just play those two animations. But there is some locking that needs to happen because you need to lock the anchor points of both the attacker and the defender, throwee, so that the animations will be aligned. And from that point of throwing, you don't want to keep necessarily the point the throwee was at when they got thrown, or that hit trigger occurred, because then it'll be out of alignment. So you have to do something to get them in alignment, either teleporting them to the same point, which may look a little jarring, or maybe you do some kind of interpolation. It depends on the game. 3D games sometimes do interpolation, but usually you would create a throw that has a short enough range, so when you do teleport just that little bit from the distance of the thrower to the throwee, you don't really notice as a player, and there may be some kind of effect that covers this up. Okay, so this is an important point. Yeah, and then when throws release the opponent. Let's say throw. So let's say the thrower releases the throwee when the throw is finished. Okay. And in fact, I'm probably not going to refer to these things. They're often called throws. For this particular project, I feel like throws are the more common terminology in the fighting game scene, but I really feel like grab is the more appropriate terminology, because we are talking about grabbing, and throwing is just the act that tends to happen at the end of grabs or grapple. We can call it grab, grapple, whatever. I think I'm gonna stick with grab though, even though I've written this throws initial steps. We can say grabs. Yeah. Okay. So that's kind of like the general concept of how throws work and how they are different um, than attacks. Now, when we start to plan implementing stuff like this, when we're starting, kind of from scratch, and obviously we have kind of prior knowledge, um, most of us anyway, of how fighting games work. We do have a starting point, but some of the stuff can be vague. And how do we concretely implement this stuff in code, right? I think it's important to write out things like this first, but then often it's good to draw a picture to give you a much clearer idea of the steps. So I think I'll do that. Okay. Yeah, so Flyclose makes a good point. So in many fighting games, there actually is a grabbing motion that happens. And once, like, say, like the frame of animation where, the hands kind of close and grabs, right? So it looks like a grab physically. But actually, there are other games where the throw happens instantly, right? Think Street Fighter 2. That starts as an instant animation, right? It's if you're close enough to throw, the throw will come out because it's the input command is forward plus heavy punch or heavy kick. Fierce, I think it's fierce, yeah. Or roundhouse kick button, strong kick. Oh, sorry, not strong kick, heavy kick. Um, and in that game in particular, if you try to perform the throw, um, when you're not in range, the throw won't even come out. You'll get a different action. So you'll get like the actual attack that was on that button. So it's context sensitive, right? In this game, I'm not going to do a context sensitive throw. There's a lot of issues with it. I could do it that way with like a forward punch, whatever. Other games do implement it like that, like the Guilty Gear series um, up through plus R. Did it? I don't know why I'm blanking on it, but yeah. There are also things called command throws. A lot of games, even if they have that kind of context sensitive throw, distance dependent throw, will have what's called a command throw, which is kind of what you typically see in other games as a ref throw. Yeah. Oh yeah, Rev actually had it too. Yeah, it's been a while since I played Xrd, so my brain is kind of like in that regards. But I think yeah. Okay. Oh, also, there's another important uh, difference between attacks and throws. In general, throws are kind of branching, right? So let's just say throws are branching, which means on collision, perform the success action. On whiff, they perform a whiff action. So throws can go two ways. If it collides, they can go off into a actual completion animation, which performs what was mentioned before. Or if they miss, frequently will perform a missing animation, right? Which gives opportunity for the opponent to like trick the attempted thrower into throwing, so they go through that recovery animation and then punish. By the way, there's a typo on the line 65. Oh. Oh. Oh, into, not ins it. So yeah, I was talking and typing at the same time. Okay, yeah. So throws or branching on collision, they perform the success action, and whiff, they perform a whiff action. So yeah, that's typical. So I hope that's good enough intro to how this stuff is going to work. But I like to draw a picture just because it makes things a little clearer what we're doing. So let's just say like here's scenario 1, right? Woo! I don't want that kind of. Can I get a not rounded one? Edges. Here we go. Yeah. So scenario 1, not that one. Let's have a nice little scenario here. So we got our player 1, and I don't want the stroke. I want the background. No, we want this one. Okay. We got player 1. Let's make him red. A little red. Not that one. Yes, fine. Which wasn't transparent, but whatever. We don't care. So a little player 1 standing up next player 2. Make him blue. Okay. So when we're close enough, right? And they pour him to throw. Which his hand was as a hand. So I can like demonstrate what a throw would look like. Let's just represent the hand by a big green hand. A big green circle. Big green circle. No, I don't want you to be green. Sorry. I'm not that familiar with this app. Yeah, there we go. Oof. Yeah, let's make a undo like unselects that you're told is a little annoying. Okay. Let's do a big green hand, and let's say that's a throw. That's a throw here. That's a throw. Oof. That's oof. Let's call it a throw. Throw. Oh, let's say grab. This is a grab. Grab attempt. That's a grab attempt that happens, right? So this is our screen, grab attempt. So it's kind of hard to tell who is doing what. Maybe I'll put a little line here. So grabber. Let's say this guy's a grabber. Grabber. And grabby. I don't know if I'm spelling right. Grabby. Right here. Grabber, grabby. There we go. So that's the scenario we start with. Okay. And then we go to the next scenario. Oops. Let's move it down here. Make a little arrow here saying this like, oh, this is next state. State 1, this is scenario 1. 1 here. 2. Okay, 1, 2. So in this scenario, what happens on success? And let's say on success, real quick. Actually, let's start with failure. Let's start with failures. I think it's going to be the failure. Failure, what happens with failure? Let's say the enemy's jumped or whatever. Get rid of the grab attempt. Oop. Let's say failed. Okay, whoops. Let's say whiffed. Oof. Sorry. Whiff animation. I know it's kind of hard to demonstrate this stuff. Oh yeah, we got to grab attempt and whiff animation on failure. Collision failure. Collision failure. Okay. And also, let's kind of demonstrate this. Well, we don't have to do the collision boxes. I don't think it's too detailed. So we got that. Makes it clear. Collision failure. So that's failure. And actually, we should make it so that where are we at? Give me the select button. Okay. Let's take this. Collision failure. This is the branch on collision failure. Then over here, let's just make a big old copy. Big old copy. Let's just make the success over here. So we got the success. Collision success. If you zoom out, you can probably see things go on success. We go here. And what we do is, we'll do something a little differently and go, oh, throw animation. Take this little line and I'm like, oh, we're throwing this guy. That make a little circle here. It's like we're throwing the guy. Yes. Okay. Throw animation. We'll say opponent is locked. Throw. Oh, grapply. I say grappy. Is that what I wrote? Grappy. Or grab. I wrote grabby. So grabber, grabby, grapply, grabby. So the grabby. Locked. So this is the scenario here. So on success, we play throw animation. Let's just say action because that's kind of our terminology. Play throw action, with action. Play with action. Okay. let's say jumped away. Example. Okay. Cool. So success, grabby locked, grabber, throw action. Cool. And then at the end, let's see, at the end of all this, we have the thingy. So let's make an arrow here to say end of grab, end of throw, I don't know. End of grab. What happens is we're going to throw the guy. Woo! Over here. Chunk. Let's make a little, I wish I could do like a little curvy arrow. Woo. Woo. That's not curvy. Let's just write some words. Lock end. Lock end. Grabber, placer animation. Maybe some velocity here. Some velocity. Some velocity. Okay, there we go. Indicating some action here. Throw end. Okay, so that's the scenario basically. So we do have a grab attempt, either fail, play whiff animation, or we succeed and get in this grapple lock state. At the end of it, in the grab, we lock in, and the player is now moving with physics, moving under physics. Yeah, and this is playing like movement controlled by grabber. Yeah, movement controlled by grabber. Okay, let's do this. Make it clear. So I think that's a good starting point for us to understand how these things put together. I know we haven't started any code yet, but I want to make this stuff pretty clear how it goes. So now we can kind of start thinking about like the data structure of this stuff, right? Like how is this stuff like actually represented in our runtime state, our game runtime? Well, you know, we have the physics component and reaction component in our code. What is it? So we have, is it here, physics component timeline? So a reaction component, actually I'm going to fix this because I absolutely hate everything down the line. Same line here. That's cool. So the first thing we can do as just kind of a starting point is we're going to say, we know we need like a lock state. So let's say, let's just call it grab locked. Make it a bool. And for the most part, we're going to be grab locked. For the most part, never is going to be true unless we actually the throw is performed. Now, there's something called the handcuff glitch in Street Fighter 2 I would like to talk about at some point. We'll get to that. But this is kind of a preview of what can go wrong. It's a common pitfall in implementing throws. The preview is, imagine what happens if the thrower, the grabber, is interrupted by something else, say a projectile that's been previously put on screen by the defender. Just imagine what could happen then in the middle of an action when the grab E is locked. Okay, so we have this grab lock thing. Okay. We also might need some kind of state for the grabber to indicate that they're currently grabbing, because there might be some rules somewhere we need to check. Like maybe the physics need to be disabled when the grabber is throwing a defender, an opponent. But the first thing we have to do is we have to say grab locked either at the point of collision when a throw happens or during the start of, say, a grab state. So that leads to, oh, we need a grab state. We can't use a normal hit reaction as it is anyway, because it depends on, or it has a dynamic kind of physics state, and it's set up to basically work as a hit reaction. It's not set up to be like a grab. So next step is the thing we know we're going to need. We're going to need a grab state. Okay, And there's gonna be a few components we need here. And actually, let me go ahead and just make sure I note those for the stream notes. So, hook up hit properties in the collision system. So, that's the old thing. Sorry. So throw possibility of implications behavior. So, we need to implement collision. So we need a collision check for throws. We're also gonna have to have like a collision hit property. Now, whether or not that's on the hitbox itself, I don't think that's going to be the ideal situation. It's probably better to have it as an attack property. Now, for throws, we're going to ignore a lot of those other hit properties. So it could be a separate boolean outside of the attack property, or it could be, we can make, because this is Zig and it's fancy, we could have tagged unions. I'm not going to do that because it's going to require some big changes. So for convenience, I'll probably just make it a hit property, a boolean. So let's go to our character data real quick. So we have with attack property. So let's go to we can make it the hit property. Let's just say it's going to be the hit property for now. So sorry, no, yeah, hit property. Where's that? So let's just say is grab. And this is a bool, and make it false for most case. We're actually going to ignore most of this stuff when it is a grab. Now, there might be a better situation where we wouldn't want this as part of the same type, but I think this is convenient for now, so we're going to stick with this for demonstration purposes. Okay. What are we doing? We're doing good here. Okay, time-wise, we're pretty good. Okay, so we got the lock state, grab lock state. We have a way to indicate whether or not an attack is a grab. Okay. And we need to have the particular action. So we have the common action. What was it? Common states. Okay. So just a starting point, let's take our reaction, right? We have a reaction. Oh, by the way, does our outline work on this file? Always check to see if this stuff works. Well, that's our file list. Yeah, so we're not getting an outline at the moment, I think. Oh, it came up. There we go. Outline. Yeah, we have outline. Sweet. So how do we collapse all? So standing, walking, jump, action, special, attack, reaction, launch, reaction. Let's just start with the reaction. What's the difference between launch, reaction? So we have some physics stuff either way. Let's start with the reaction. It seems to have the less physics-based stuff. So we want to have a grab reaction. We're going to keep in, yes, go ahead and just do, I probably could just do like, in the future I want to change this a little bit to make, I don't have to retype all this every time, but anyway. This is just for debugging purposes, of course. We'll say the flip to face opponent. Let's assume that's going to be the default. Maybe we'll have overrides in the future, or maybe you would want to have overrides depending on the game and the type of throw you're doing, but type of grab you're doing. But for now, we'll leave it at that. So we have on start, and we don't have any particular physics. So in the normal hit reaction, there's no like physics applied. Everything happens inside of the reaction system, right? So we do have a reaction, though we need to do everything we can to set this up first. So let's see everywhere we have a reaction real quick. So I think we do this, we can go through all the, oh no, that's a lot of stuff. Oh, because everything's called reaction. That's true. It might be easier if we just search for .launch reaction, see where all our boilerplate is. So, okay. So we have to do all this boilerplate again. And really I need to go through and make this less tedious to set up new common actions. But let's just go ahead and just put in our so let's just say grab reaction callbacks. Call grab reaction. Actually, I want to make this the very end. All these, because it's not like the others. Grab isn't. I mean, guard isn't like the others either. But so we'll need to have the grab reaction here. Grab reaction here. Grab reaction here. Okay. Yep. And then Again, there's probably some comp time stuff I can make this way easier. Okay, and we need to set up this and register it here as well. Grab reaction. Let's go grab reaction. Oof. Grab. Yeah, grab reaction. Okay. Oh my god, I can't type. Actually, I want this at the end as well. Oof. Okay. Not the best with all the shortcut keys in Visual Studio Code. Okay, so we have that all set up. And then we have to have a transition for the grab, obviously. So how do we decide when we have a grab? Well, if the hit property is a grab, then we transition to the grab reaction. That makes sense. So we have this was guarded. We don't care if it was guarded, actually. What we care about is if... Now, the situations where grab will not trigger in most games, such as character... as a character jumping out of the way, but for now we're going to ignore that case, or any of the cases where they can miss. We're going to say for now, as long as a collision occurs, a grapple is going to trigger. Okay. I gotta learn my phone. Okay. Anyway, so the easiest thing to do is we need to get the current attack state. Okay, transitive reaction for all the characters. Okay, got it. So we don't. Where's our hit properties? Oh, here's our hit property. So let's say if the hit property, grab. That's Japanese. Grab is grab. So if it is a grab, we do all these. That's the highest priority thing, right? If it's a guard, that's higher. The next highest priority. Yeah. So this is the actual code for triggering the the grab reaction. We do something similar to what's here because we're not going to apply any physics properties. We might need to null out some things, zero out some hit grab properties. And this also means we can combo into throws right now, by the way, because technically it's a hit collision can happen during an existing reaction. But those are exceptions. There's always like rules we have to apply for grapples, for grabs, that other things don't apply to. Why did you decide to use function pointers instead of an interface? Well, first of all, Zig doesn't have a formal way to do interfaces. You can check at comp time whether or not a function exists, right, and execute it. And that's probably the better way to go. Part of the reason I did function pointers was I was starting this project as I was learning Zig. But yeah, I mean, I'll probably go through at some point and do something like that comp time check to see if they have these functions and execute them, or just get them, right? Anywho, I think there's another reason where I want to kind of inherit. I want to make it possible to reuse an existing, but maybe it's not that important anymore to reuse existing functions, because you could assign the function pointer, right, of an existing state, existing action. Okay, just get back on track. So we don't care about guard stun or hit stun or anything like that, but we do want to make sure the defender is now locked. So let's see, context dot what is it like? We want the reaction component, actually. So actually, I'm sorry, did context actually have the reaction component? I forget. Did we actually set that? Lock state grab lock equals true. Okay, maybe that's it. Oh, whoops, I see exactly what's going on here. Did not want to do that. So I did game stand. Okay. Trying to build. Is it going to build? Trying to build. 8. I got an error. No field name grab reaction. Okay, it's fine. Oh, yeah, I forgot one thing I forgot about. Go to here. Okay, it's fine. Game state.zig. Action states. Sorry. No, that's not where it's defined. It's defined in State machine, sorry. Oh, combat state ID. This too. This is gonna be fixed. Okay. So we want to have grab reaction. That's fine. And then also while we're here, go to our common states real quick. Sorry about that. Okay. I want to move this below all this stuff. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Alrighty. Now maybe it compiles. Maybe it doesn't compile. Because I type. Is it raining? Damn it. I can hear the rain coming down really hard through the microphone. Okay. We missed something in the reaction system. When I say we, I mean me. I type very lightly, and I just miss keys all the time. Alright, cool. So at least compiles. We see that here. So the first thing I'm going to do is see what happens when I set. Where's our? So you can see our special attack ready to launch right now. But what if I do something different? What if I set that to being a grab? So hold on, let's do this. It's easier if I just do the attack and then edit the property. So special. We have our is launch. We're gonna set it to is grab. It's probably gonna, hopefully it will ignore this. Oops. There we go. Now what happens if we attack? Well, we can't actually see what's going on here. Hold on. Let me minimize this and we can look just real quick. I want to get rid of this spamming here because it should push away far enough that push boxes are not overlapping. But anywho, so looks like the guard reaction started. What are the guard reactions? Did I mistype things here? We expected the grab reaction to start. Okay. Oh, I did grab reaction. There we go. That's the problem. Well, there's a problem. Okay, so let's start the game again with a. Should be solved. Hey, what's up, dude? AG42 FGC underbar FGC. Okay, so let's go back to doing the special move here and adjust the properties on this. We should have. It'd be nice if I had filtering here. That'd be nice, so I could easily type quickly and find the property. But that's fine. Okay, we're gonna go down and making sure it's a grab now, and see what happens. Actually, it's easier if we minimize this real quick so we can see. We can look at the properties down here. Okay. Okay. Hitbox over grab reaction starts. Now what happens? Oh, one of the first things is you see the characters is gone because we literally don't have any properties for that grab reaction. So the first thing we actually need to do so we can actually see the grab occurring, right? We need to have that reaction playing out. Okay. This is a perfect case for us to use our editor, actually. But before we go there, unfortunately we can't actually edit the player too for now. So actually I'm gonna go ahead and make a quick change for us to make this a little easier. We have this .json thing, player 1, player 2. Let's make both players the same here. And then I can make it a little easier, and because I'm gonna be iterating on this a lot. Test character 1, let's go to special. Make sure this is, well, I haven't saved out yet, so let me start the game real quick so we can update those properties, because we have that now is grab property. So well, I want to save that out to here. So go ahead and just open this up. I'm going to save the character real quick, and then hopefully everything should be good. We should update here. Yeah, we should have is grab here now. So let's just go to the special. And actually, I can just edit it here, to be honest, because it's not that difficult. So do we have stand, attack, special? Here's our special right here, right? I don't know why it's lowercase. Don't get me started on this. Oh, that's our image properties. That's why. Okay. Oof. Stand. It's just easier to just perform it than try to go through all that. So, oops, that's not what I want. Perform it real quick. Open our editor. Collapse our character because there's so many properties. Let's go ahead and make it a grab and save it. Okay, so it should stay that way when we reload the game. Okay, cool. So now we have this grapple thing. Oops, and they go away, right? To avoid any potential crashing. So this is like where the editor can become useful. Default hitbox, collapse that. Oh, here's our action. I want to add an action. I hit the action add button. So you can see here, here's the first action. I don't know, the name is not showing for the action. It should, hitbox groups is launched. That's hit property. We can close that. Timeline is fine. Okay, so standings here. So I think if we go all the way to the bottom, we should have the action added. Hit property. That property. Yeah, so we don't have it here. So let's call this grab reaction. And hopefully we can save that, and it should be saved out to our file. Grab reaction. Crap. So this is actually a bug. I need to fix that. Whatever. We're gonna just restart the game. Okay. We should have all these properties here, right? So let's go open back our editor. Go all the bottom again. Grab reaction should still be here. Yep, there we go. Other thing is we want to add, I think our string is messed up right now, so I'm not going to mess with strings in the editor. That's something I need to fix. So I'm just going to reuse that animation timeline from our idle, right? So there we go. I'm just going to put it to 1,000 because whatever. And the timeline is actually, that's another thing about the grapple timeline I'll have to get to. We're going to get here in a bit, but just so we can see the character, I'm going to add that image there. Just coffee. I'm getting myself some coffee here. Alrighty. Okay. Now, when we actually grapple, we should be able to see the opponent. As you can see, they're there. They're grappled. And they still get pushed. I don't know why they're getting pushed. It's because they did the exit the grapple. Let's see. So grab did end. So we can see the lock. Actually, the lock doesn't apply anywhere right now. We just added it as a property. So you can see how the grapple ends when the grab ends, when the timeline ends. It's easy to see here. I probably should print out the actual state here because we have no way to show the state name. That'd be real nice, right? To show the state name. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, you can see the player 2's timeline here. This represents the current frame that they're on. And then once we've gone through there, grab reaction ends, standing starts. Cool. I'm going to leave it as this so we can test locking and unlocking the player. First thing I'm going to do, though, is make this grab really long. I want a full screen. I should add a full screen button because double clicking on this every time is annoying. Yeah, let's just drop down here and look at our grab reaction. I should force this grab. Yeah, I really should force the name to be at the top and not at the bottom, but that's something. Is that because our data is like that, or is it because of the way I'm iterating over things? I'll look at that real quick. I know it's a little, sorry, been distracted here. What is it? Action property? Is that what we call it? Yeah. Yeah, okay, sorry. Yeah. Our name is the very bottom here, and it drives me crazy. I'm going to put that at the top. Okay. I'm just going to restart that because it drives me crazy. I have to scroll to the bottom to see the name. Shouldn't affect... it'll cause the JSON file to be written out differently, but otherwise it should be fine. Okay. Now, if we look at the very bottom of our character file, we can see, yeah, so grapple reaction, sorry. What are we looking at here? Animation timeline. Oh, that's animation timeline. And then, whoops, why is it not? Okay. I need to make this, I need to improve the editor, to be honest. But, yeah. Let's see. So this is, okay, so, sorry. So 9, this starts our grapple reaction. I probably could put the name in the header here too. That would be nice. I'll have to do a customized thing there. These are things to think about improving user experience when you're creating design tools. So yeah, we have our vulnerable hitbox group. We have no vulnerable hitboxes on the throw, which is fine. We don't want vulnerable hitboxes right now, so that you can't combo into a throw. There's no, the push box uses the default push box. It comes from the character data itself. There's no hit property because this does not an attack. It has animation timeline, as you can see. It has the stand with these frames. But the duration is 0 frames on the grab right now, right? Let's just make it like super long, like 1 second. Let's make it like 5 seconds, right? So that should work. Oops, I guess I can't do math there. So blah, 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 blah. What is it? 120 frames? No, that's 2 seconds. What does my brain not work? 300 frames, okay. And let's save that. And then, oof, okay. Now, when we do this, you can see, oh my god, it's very long. I wonder if I could do a wraparound here to make this easier to read. But yeah, you can see how that's very long now. And then I can push them all around while they're still in the grapple here. And then it ends. Okay. I wish I had a different end. Let's, yeah, what should I do? You know, an easy thing I could do is go through here and edit this stuff. I can go through here and edit the animation. Let's open the animation. Okay, in our assets we have animation, color 1, attack 1, idle. Let's duplicate this. Well, we can open in timeline. I want to open in the Explorer. Let's add this. Let's say grab reaction. Okay. And can we edit this in Paint 3D? Let's edit this. Okay, let's make this GR for grab. Well, I want a bigger font, a much bigger font. That's too big. 26. There we go. So why can't I do that? Doesn't what? Okay. Someone explain to me what's going on here. Okay. What's wrong with this? Oops. I don't understand Paint. Paint sucks. I don't think it sucks, but what am I missing? Is it transparent? Is that what's going on? I'm gonna hide the grid. Hide the grid. Screw it. We're just gonna paint GR. Yes, GR for grab reaction. And this is like line here to make it very clear. Oh, something's happening. Okay. Okay, and now we just need to load in the grab reaction. Close the game here. It's easier if I just edit the text file a lot of the time. So again, because our string implementation kind of sucks right now, so we get attack special. Okay, I'm just gonna drop it here. Grab. Oops. Grab reaction. Call it grab reaction. Because we only have 1 frame. Maybe in the future we'll have more. Because actually I need to have this for demonstration purposes. And then our grab reaction, we'll use this. Okay. Image. Sweet. So now when we grab, we can make it visually clearer that we're being grabbed. Okay. There you go, GR. And doesn't have transparency. Blah. I forgot Paint is a thing. So if I use Paint 3D, is that better? I've never used Paint 3D before. I really need a good image editing app. Ah, it's in Japanese. I can read it, but where's my select tool? Where's the magic wand? I want to delete all the white space. Magic Sentaku? Magic Sentaku. Okay, I don't want to. No, I don't want to magically select this thing. Why is it so complicated? I just want to select this. Brushu. Coca, cancel 3D library. I don't care about 3D library. I just want to edit. I want to select the thing. Trimming, Magic Sentaku, yes. Magic Sentaku, the white space. No. Whatever. We're gonna skip. I'll fix that later. It's a waste of time to mess around with that stuff. I always download like GIMP or something. What is like the preferred free image editor now? Because I guess Paint doesn't support, even now doesn't support transparency. Well, anyways, ignore that problem for now. So, okay, you can see that they're in this for a long time, pushing them around. But actually, grapple state shouldn't push things around, right? We have this like push reaction. So, first thing we're gonna do is check our push reactions. And where's our push stuff at? That's there. Is there a collision process? It's been a while since I looked at this stuff. I think it's in our collision system, right? Push collisions. Yes, thank you for the giant header. Pass chase. Pass Zynac. What do I call myself? Anyway, okay. So what we're gonna do if the character is in a grapple state, we'll just ignore the push reactions entirely. The easiest thing to do is just ignore the push reaction collision entirely. So, we still have this old while loop. I could replace this with a for loop now that we're in Zig 12. Is there, oh man. Is there just a continue in Zig? I forget. Does Zig have a continue keyword? I don't think it does. Continue. Oh, there is a continue keyword. Make sure it works exactly like C. It should be here. Does that show up? Yeah, we have continue. Cool. So we're going through all the collision systems. So we need to check the character state. Boy. So the easiest thing to do here, I think, is I think it's like game state dot reaction components entity dot grab block. See how if we're gonna check if this is true. If this is true, we're gonna go to the next thing. So we want to continue. Okay. So if they're in a grab, okay, don't grab lock components can't be pushed. That's important because you don't want to push during the middle of a grab, right? Otherwise, alignment on animation might be messed up. Okay, so let's confirm that works. By the way, we're on an hour here. Okay. So it looks like I am pushing them. I think the problem is the character who's grab locked is the wrong one. Grab lock. That's the Fender state. That's a weird that's a weird bug. I wasn't being pushed. Oh, I know the issue. I know the problem. Maybe. It's not about the one generating this. It's about on both sides. So both if the opponent, so if the opponent can't be pushed. Well, it shouldn't be pushed. But also we have some code here that pushes the other push slices. So we're actually not trying to do this. This is where we like accumulate all the push boxes. We actually have a part where we process the push. So it's in our collision phase. I think it's the very end of our collision phase. Collision phase. Push collisions. Okay. Here we go. So first thing you want to do is do the pusher pushy, because there's like two sides to it, right? So so basically, if either side is in a lock state, we don't want push to happen, right? So simplest thing to do here is well, first let's just drop this here and see if this. So the vulnerable side. Oh, then we have this here. So it's a little more position A, position B. So this is where you push one left and push one right, okay? What basically I want to do is ignore, I want to prevent, yeah, I want to prevent the push C from even being involved in being added to the list of potential push boxes, right? That's like the most easy way to ignore all this. So, this is where we accumulate everything. So we go through all the push slices for push slices, okay. Yeah, where's our push slices? Where we do that at? Oh yeah, dot push slices. Okay, slices is just, you know, a chunk of the array, basically, a reference to the chunk of the array. Okay, so what we want to do is get all the hitboxes for the current action. Yeah. So we're not going to gather. We're not going to gather any push boxes for the opponent that has in the lock state. So store the slices for the entity that points to the push count. So if the push count is less than equal to 0, push count is 1. So this gets the default push box, okay? So yeah. What we're gonna do is if I messed up here. Anyway, state dot reaction components entity dot lock. So we'll do this. We'll do nothing. We'll do nothing if it's 0, right? It doesn't actually matter here. We'll just do this. Basically do nothing. Maybe that'll work. So that basically our push count is 0. And it won't even be checked when a grapple's happening. Yep, there we go. That worked. So we can't push them around. Okay, so don't allow opponent characters in a grab reaction to be pushed. Okay, cool. So we're about an hour here into our stream. I think I'm going to cut it off at this point, and we'll continue on with more details for throws, grapples and throws, grabs and throws. Hope this explanation was clear enough. I'll always open to feedback and suggestions on how to improve the presentation. If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. Otherwise, I think I'll be shutting down the stream for today. We'll continue on the day after tomorrow around the same time. Typically either 8:30 or 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Oh, hey, Comic Man, and see you're here. But yeah, thanks for dropping by, everybody. Hope you all have a good rest of your evening, your night, your day, depending on where you may be. But until next time, y'all have a good one. See y'all soon. Peace.